on down in Pine Ridge. Well, as we look in on the little community today, we find Lum and Abner sitting in the courtroom waiting for today's action in their trial. Listen.
Well, why don't we get started, Lum? What in the world are we waiting for anyway?
I don't know. I think the judge is late this morning.
Well, I wish he'd hurry up and get here. I don't want to spend the rest of my life sitting in this courtroom.
No.
Fact is, I ought to be home right this minute, to be honest about it, helping Elizabeth.
Helping Elizabeth? What's she doing?
Well, she's busting up that new ground we got up there, getting ready to plant it, and I just ought to be there.
Oh, you mean you ought to be there to help her? I'm glad to hear you say that, Abner.
Huh?
I'm glad to know that you were thinking about Elizabeth and knowing that you ought to help her.
Oh, I always think about it. Well, now, wait a minute. I wasn't aiming on doing none of the plowing.
Well, what do you want to be back there for?
Well, I just thought I'd sort of sit there on the fence and direct her, you know. She don't know too much about it, Mom.
Well, I thought she's uncommonly good at plowing.
Well, she's good if I'm there to watch her, you know. See, I'll learn her everything she knows. She ought to be good. I'll sit there with a busting headache and a hot sun many a time pointing out that woman when she weren't plowing the road straight. You just got to watch them. That's all there to it. She gets up there with that young spanner mule, starts down through that new ground. She's going to hang that plow on her root and throw herself right out of the field, show her the world.
But she plows an uncommonly straight road, though.
Well, she does now, but she never. You ought to have seen some of the roads she used to plow.
I know. And she don't get into the fence corners like she ought to.
Well, no, but she does if I'm there to watch her. I just say, Elizabeth, come in closer to that plow. Make your turns closer to the fence. And she'll do it. She'll do it. You stand there and make her do it. Fact is, if she don't do it, I just hitch her up to the plow and plow myself.
You're Josh. You wouldn't do that.
I will if that's the way to learn her. I'll show her how to get there close.
I wish they'd hurry up. Norris and jumpy as a rabbit's nose. I've heard a rumor that the judge had sort of a nervous breakdown or something like that himself on account of the trouble that we give him.
We give him?
Well, mostly you, I think. All the time hollering out in court when you ain't supposed to and all that. Wish you'd watch that today.
Well, now, Lum, I've seen him get mad at you a couple of times, too. Or disgusted, I reckon he'd call it.
Well, I think that was just because he seen how much law I knowed and was kind of jealous of me. I don't think he was actual mad at me.
Well, I don't know whether he was mad at you or not, but I sure was yesterday when you handed that pearl over to the clerk, I'll tell you that.
I had to do that. The judge made me do it. You seen what happened.
Yeah, but you let Squire Skimp's lawyer trick you into showing him that pearl. That's what you done.
I couldn't help that. Nothing else I could do.
Well, Mr. Walford said you oughtn't to let him did that. Said it was a terrible mistake.
What does Walford know about it?
He's sitting right over there.
Well, he can't hear nothing. He's asleep more than likely.
No, I think he's reading that little magazine, that Racing Forums again.
You know, if the judge is mad at anybody, I think it's our lawyer.
Mr. Walford?
I'm afraid they ain't the big friends that Walford tried to make out they was.
No. Lum, do you think we got any chance at all of winning this trial?
Well, I don't know. If things get to looking too bad, I might have to take over myself.
Oh, Doggett, I hope things don't get that bad.
Oh, there comes the judge. Now we can get started.
Oh, yes, old pokey.
You better wake up, Walford.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Walford. Mr. Walford, wake up.
Oh, yes.
They're about ready to start.
Good. Are they all at the gate?
Huh?
I've got 2 across on Glory Miss.
Who's that? Another spy's witness they're going to drag in here?
No, that's us. That was the principal litigant I once defended in the famous trial, Miss Glory versus Smith. Undoubtedly you heard of it.
I don't believe I have. No. Oh, gravel.
The court of the county of Polk, state of Arkansas, is now in session.
The driver Polk.
Judge Fowler presiding. We will continue with the joint case of M.K. Skimp versus Edwards and Peabody, and Milford Spears versus Edwards and Peabody. Mr. Dowell, do you have any more witnesses to present?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to call Mr. Abner Peabody.
Me?
Yes, Abner Peabody to the witnesses.
Oh, me. Hold on.
Go ahead. Get up there, Abner. But be careful. Don't let them trick you.
You're a fine one to be telling me that.
Come, Mr. Peabody. I've put up with all the nonsense I'm going to.
Hurry up.
I'm coming.
Watch out, there's a step ladder.
Oh!
Pick him up.
Oh, Doggy. They ought to put a sign up there. I'll bark my shins there or something wonderful. Look there, Judge.
Good. Now take the stand.
Oh,
You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You do? You do. I do.
State your name.
Abner Peabody. Abner Finley Peabody. Finley was a family name on my mama's side.
All right, counsel. You may examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, much obliged, Judge. Show you right where I got hurt. Let me get my pants leg rolled up here.
I'm not interested in that.
I thought you was going to examine me.
This is not a medical examination.
It might be a good idea. Now get on with the testimony.
Mr. Peabody, you are one of the owners of the Meadowlark Restaurant in Pine Ridge, are you not?
Yes, sir. Me and Lum's in partnership.
You heard the testimony given yesterday by your partner regarding the transaction involving the sale of oysters to Mr. M.K. Skimp, did you not?
Would you come over it again? I believe I jumped the track back there somewhere.
Did you hear what Mr. Edwards said on the witness stand yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Weren't that terrible? He ought to be bored for the simple.
Object. Sit down, Lauck. You can't say that about me.
I said there's going to be order in this court. And let me remind the defendant that we have ways of dealing with those who violate the dignity of the court.
Your Honor, you will have no further trouble from the defendant.
Proceed.
Mr. Peabody, you said that you heard the testimony given by your partner. Well, were you present at the time of the transaction described by him? I mean the ordering of oysters by Mr. Skimp.
Yes. Don't holler at me like that. The fact is, I was the one that served the oysters to him and Grandpap. See, I'm the head waiter.
I see.
The soup jockey.
Yes. Now then...
That's what they call a waiter, soup jockey.
Yes, well, that's fine. Now then, Mr. Peabody, you say that you are the one who served the oysters.
Yes, sir. Slapped them right down on the counter. Set a plate of them in front of Squire and a plate in front of Grandpap.
Now, just a minute. Who is the person you refer to as Grandpap?
Why, he's one of the varmints that's lawsuing us. That old billy goat sitting right over there.
Jiminy object. Order! In other words, you mean the plaintiff, Milford Spears.
Why, natural. That's his name.
And the man you refer to as Squire is that M.K. Skimp?
Why, of course he is. Lord me, for a feller that's supposed to be trying this case, you don't know much about it.
The witness will please answer the questions as briefly as possible and refrain from making comments.
Excuse me, your judgeship.
Now, you say that you served oysters to both Mr. Skimp and Mr. Spears.
Yes. That's righty. Now you're getting it straight, bud. See, Grandpap never wanted them. He wanted a ham sandwich or a lumburger or something, but Squire just insisted that he get oysters.
But in other words, the whole thing was Mr. Skimp's idea. Is that right?
I object.
Overruled.
Then the idea of ordering the oysters was entirely Mr. Skimp's idea. Is that correct?
Yeah. Grandpap never even knowed how to eat them. He sat there trying to spear them with his knife. Tasting them all over his plate till I hand him a spoon. It was comical.
Now, listen here, you little son, make you stool pigeon. I forgot more about eating than you'll ever know.
Order! This court will tolerate absolutely no more nonsense. One more outburst, and I'll throw the whole case out of court.
Now, see there, Grandpap?
Go get yourself lost.
What did I ever do to deserve this? Proceed with the case, if you can.
All right, Mr. Peabody. You have testified that Mr. Skimp was the one who was solely responsible for ordering the oysters.
Did I? That doggy. Never even knowed all them big words.
Oh. And Mr. Skimp ordered the oysters with full intention to pay. Now, is that right?
I reckon so.
And did he not, in fact, make an honest effort to pay for them?
Yeah, see, Lum wouldn't take it.
But did he did offer the money?
Yeah. But Lum said afterwards, he was too smart for Squire. Said if he'd have taken the money, why, then the pearl would have belonged to Squire.
I object. I ask that the witness's last statement be stricken from the record.
Objection overruled.
In other words, Mr. Peabody, your partner, Mr. Edwards, recognized that Mr. Skimp had a legitimate claim to the pearl. And Mr. Edwards was forced to contrive some means of preventing Mr. Skimp from obtaining what was rightfully his.
I object.
Objection sustained.
All right. Just one more question, then, and I'll be through.
Good.
Mr. Peabody, I have here an object which I want you to look at.
Yeah, I'll be glad to, sure.
Have you ever seen this before?
Let me see. I don't know. I can't see it in your hand there. Here, let me take it.
All right.
Yeah.
Now then, can you tell me what it is?
You're dead blame right I can. That's me and Lum's pearl.
Here, you can't do it. You can't keep it.
Who says I can? Possession is 9/10 of the point of the law.
Mr. Peabody, you're in contempt.
I don't care where I am. I got our pearl back, and there ain't no 6 men in this courtroom big enough to get my fist out of my overhaul pants pocket.
Well, looks like Abner's trying to use the pocket veto.